Okay, here you see what we harvested from our raised bed out on the outside of the yard, outer edge of the yard, in a 3x8 space. These are all potatoes that we grew, and we planted 8 potatoes about this size right here, and I'm going to put it in my hand so that you see perspective. And this is what we harvested from that. We're going to harvest our sweet potatoes that we planted in our containers. We have 2 containers out here, and we planted slips there. And all the information that we read tells us that you harvest more potatoes from slips than you do planting potatoes. We will see and compare. We will get these off the table and put the other ones on the table and see. Now, granted, the 2 containers out there are not as big as a 3x6 or 8 foot area where we planted these, so there might not be the same proportion, but we'll see.
Okay, now it's sweet potato tub time. The difference between these sweet potatoes and the ones that we harvested in the raised bed is that I had 8 sweet potatoes whole that I planted out there. Everything that I read online said that if you plant slips, then you get more sweet potatoes. So I thought we would do this as an experiment and see just how they did. I did have some issues at the beginning when we first planted them with I'm assuming not keeping them damp enough since they came out of water into this, and it took a while for them to take off. But we left them longer in the tubs than normal, and we're going to see how they do. Did you take the water lines out?
I did not. Let's clip them out here. Here.
You need these?
No.
We're going to cut all this back anyway.
That one's out.
Almost halfway.
We blew these out with air yesterday, so they are
ready for winter.
Ready for winter.
These will go in the compost bin. This tub had 7 slips planted in it.
This container looks like it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 as well.
I had to put terracotta in the bottom because the squirrels kept digging in it. Alright.
Pull them up.
No, just use your hands. Put gloves on. Get your gloves.
Okay.
Because this just is really soft. I got some little babies. We can have those right away. These were grown from slips that were put in water off of potatoes that I grew last year. This year, one thing that I have discovered is that compost you buy in a bag is not all end all be all.
No, it's not.
You really have to amend it. You also have to take a soil sample and test it, because I had things that just would not grow. They barely stayed alive. We were watering them well, so I finally bought a test kit, tested the soil, and we thought it was going to be like the best soil we had in tubs. And it had no nitrogen to show at all, very high in potash. On around the corner by the solar panels, we used the worm bed soil. We emptied our worm bed last year, and we didn't have a big crop of worms in it at all. We had let it go, and it's in a tank, and come to find out, everything grew great over there. The bag stuff, not so much.
Well, to summarize what happened, it looks like our containers did not grow as many potatoes as planting potatoes out in the raised bed.
However, these are a lot bigger.
However, it produced bigger potatoes. As you saw on our table inside, we got a lot like these out there.
And that is very loose soil.
We did not produce any like these.
No, and that was very loose soil as well out there.
It was.
I was very pleased when I started digging at how loose it was. It was like this. I mean,
so it looks like slips produce bigger potatoes, but not necessarily more potatoes, at least for us. And that's been our experiment.
I did not soil test this. I soil tested the ones around the corner. So we will soil test from now on when we use bag stuff from the.
And you're talking about bags that you buy from the big box container stores, big box stores, Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, those places like that, Ace Hardware, etc. We will test that to make sure that it is good balance. We really will. My container is exhausted. It just has potting soil in it. You're still digging.
I feel so. Now this is really compacted at the bottom.
We'll take these out. We'll turn them over. We'll add leaf litter in them from the yard where we have it stacked up from last fall. It's been composting all year.
I think it's it.
We'll add it to it. So here you see, and I'll put a picture here just in a moment of what we had on the table again.
Compared to what we have here. The key, you can grow crops in tubs very well. I think the key is getting the soil, the balance that you need, and the loose that you need. But learned a lot this year, and that was why we wanted to get started on this, because there is a learning curve here.
Container gardening is challenging, but it's not impossible.
No, and I truthfully would rather container garden than raised bed, but some things just do better in a raised bed.
They do. We hope you had a good harvest this year. If you did some sweet potatoes or something in containers, we hope you had a good year. Thanks for being on our channel, for following us. Hit the like button and subscribe. Tell a friend. God bless you and have a great day.
And leave a comment. Gardeners grow from each other.
Thanks. So here's one last shot at those potatoes that we grew in our containers compared to the other potatoes. Not quite as many, but much larger.